I'm Tony Fleming, and this is Fleming's Ultimate Garage. Hey everybody, thanks for joining us on today's video. Listen, you've already looked at the pictures, and the pictures clearly are great looking. And you come to the video and you go, wow, what am I getting from this video? So if you walk around this car, you say, well, man, that's one great looking muscle car, or that's a great looking sports car, or that's a great looking, gosh, I don't know what to call it. That's exactly what everybody else says too. Imagine the 60s, and you have a nice little British sports car that comes to town, and a crazy guy with a hat and a V8 from Ford shoves that inside this tiny car that had a 4-cylinder in it originally, right? A 4-cylinder, wheezing 50 horsepower 4-cylinder in it, and now all of a sudden it's got a 260 V8 in it back in the day. Then it grew to 289 cubic inches. Some had 302, some had 428s, 427s in them, depending on the year where they ran out of 427s, they had to put 428s in them. But this car is amazing, and I'm going to tell you why it's so amazing. First off, this is a great looking car. I love this color combination. So what we did was you have two different bumpers that are available. We need to know which one you want on the car. So they have the SC bumper, and then they have a street bumper. The street bumper goes around the whole nose, and that's why we did it like this, so you can see the difference, right? Goes around the whole nose and comes over here to protect the nose and things like that on the street. Most people don't use that. They go with the quick jack style bumper. And the bumper comes out here, and this is drilled and ready for that, and it comes with these already. It sits here and here, and during the race days what they would do is they would come up to the car, right? Instead of having to put a jack on that side or that side, the quick jacks in the front, they would come up with a bar, they would do this, and they would push the bar down, and because the car was so light, it would lift the whole front end of the car up. They could change both tires, do brakes, whatever it is real fast, and be right back out in the race again. So those were kind of part of the SC stands for super competition, and that's what those bumpers and quick jacks were for. So you have to decide if you want that. Also, this has an oil cooler, and typically we mount it right there in the front. You can see the giant radiator in there with a giant electric fan. The reason I like that so much, and the reason I pointed out so much, is I like to cruise my cars, and I like to go to car shows, or I like to drive to the beach or whatever, and the last thing I want to do is be stuck in traffic and my car overheat, doesn't want to start, coolant pouring all over the place. This helps prevent that from happening, and there's a lot of room in the engine compartment to let the heat escape, and that's why I like that so much. I pointed out because it's really, if you've never had that happen to you, it sucks. All right, okay, so come on, let's walk around here for a second. All right, so we have the knockoff style. Okay, these are bolt-on knockoffs. All right, but they have 4-wheel disc brakes buried inside there. You can't see them. This is a Shell Valley car, and Shell Valley makes a really nice car. I think you can tell from the gaps and the lines and the vents and how everything fits. Obviously they've built a lot of these cars over time. High-speed radials, side exit exhaust that's been ceramic coated. All right, you got this roll hoop here. You want to have that in here. Some of these cars don't come with it. I like it in there because it's part of the rigidity of the car. If something was to happen, it protects you and keeps that safe. And as you walk around here more, here's the quick jack style bumpers, right? They would go right in there. They have two different types. They have this rounded type, and then they have one that has just a hook on it, the real style SC jacks. So you can swap them out for that. They look about the same. Tail lights, the stripes on the car. This happens to be a little different because the trunk, this is designed to be more of a show car. So this was their top of the line show car kit, and this is what they use to take to shows to sell the cars. All right, so here's, this is really significantly nicer than any Cobra's trunk we've ever had. Typically they're Spartan and they're just dressed in either the glass or whatever, but look at the detail in here. The sound system with the subwoofers, amps. If you want to go to a car show, this is a cool car to take to a car show because you open this and you open the hood, man, everybody gathers around it first because it's a Cobra. Second, because it's got this killer stereo system going on. This is a stick here, it goes in its own little holder, all right? And you put that and prop that up there, all right? Anyway, the quick fill gas cap, this, super nice, love that. Functional, right, functional. And it works like it's supposed to. All right, let's take a peek under the hood because all that power is coming from somewhere and we gotta go find it. Let's do that. So come on in here. All right, so you say, well, this has a 351 engine, it doesn't have the 427 or the 428. Let me just tell you a little something. First off, all those engines make around 350 to 450 horsepower. 350 horsepower, okay, in a 2,500 pound car. Today's modern cars like Challengers and Camaros and things like that are 4,000 pounds. So imagine how much faster this car is. So this is like having 600 horsepower in these cars when you talk about power to weight ratio and things like that. Add in, you know, multi-transmissions with 5 speeds or See, it originally came with 4 speeds. The 5-speed here allows you to cruise to the beach in this thing, man. And the exhaust system sounds nice coming out the sides. And see, there's not a lot of stuff going on here. I like that. It doesn't have extra pulleys for fans. It doesn't have power steering. You know, it doesn't have power steering because it doesn't need it. It has rack and pinion steering, right? Which is today's modern version of steering, not like the old days of steering. This 351 pumps out plenty of power. Big aluminum radiator that we talked about before. And look how beefy the frame is. The frame is just huge and thick, right? This is a solid, solid car. And you can see why Shell Valley's been in business for so long. Here's my favorite part about the car is, like, I go to get the door handle and I know every time there's only one car that rolls like this. How you doing? All right. This is how you get in. 6-foot long legs, lots of man in here, all right? But again, I still fit now because this car has a nice big tunnel, right? It's not like the original ones that were so small. This also has the stereo that we talked about, full set of VDO gauges, all right? Engine start right here, off like that. Stereo everywhere. I'm not really sure how much stereo you're going to hear, but the stereo is in here. The stereo is in the dash. The stereo is in the trunk. So much sound system. This clearly was a show car. They put a lot of money and time into this thing to make it nice. The two-tone seating is very nice. But this is embroidered in here. This looks like carbon fiber. These seat covers, but then it has a snake embroidered into it. All right. And the shifter works just like it's supposed to. And so some people say, well, why is the shifter forward? Well, there's a reason for that. The reason is that because the car is so short and the transmission had to be pushed so far back that if the shifter was here, when you would go to put your in 4th or 5th gear, your arm would always hit. So that's why they had to move the shifter to here, all right? And now when you go to the gears, you don't hit your elbow back there. Another little tidbit of information. Maybe you knew it, maybe you didn't. Hopefully that helped. All right, so we talk about some of the detailed stuff. Coil-over suspension, 4-wheel disc brakes, 5-speed close ratio transmission, right? Big fat wheels and tires, great power, great sounding, right? And great looking for not a gazillion dollars. And of course, what I love so much is these tend to stay and sell around for the same price forever. So you can drive this car for a little bit. It'll cost you very little to own it and have some fun at the same time. Anyway, call us 301-816-1000. We'll tell you all about the Shell Valley Cobra. Find a way to get it in your garage. Out here this morning. Anyway, by the way, this car has heat as well. So turn on the ignition, hit the engine start.